Happy Matcha Mondays with Michelle, and happy spring! It's sakura or cherry blossom season. So for today's Matcha Monday, not only do we have a matcha latte recipe, but I also wanted to show you how to make these adorable hanami dango. We have the traditional round ones, but I also made flower and heart-shaped ones as well. And they're flavored with sakura and matcha powder. And in spring in Japan, there's this thing called hanami or flower viewing. And when the cherry blossoms are in bloom, people go out and have a picnic under the trees, and a popular snack for that is hanami dango. So I'm going to show you exactly how I made both of these, starting with the matcha latte. So for the ingredients, you'll need matcha powder, any milk of your choice, sakura powder, sugar, water, and ice. First, we'll work on the matcha. So I'm using this one by Kyo Matcha, and it's their Chiba no Shiro classic grade. And I'm gonna sift 3.5 grams. This matcha is one of my current favorites because it's so good for the price, and it's on Amazon, so it's very accessible. And for sweet flavored latte drinks like this, I like using matcha that has a strong flavor that's grassy and vegetal, since that's what's gonna help it stand out more against the other flavors. And this matcha is great for that. It's also very umami, earthy, and medium bodied. Next, add 35 milliliters of water heated to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Whisk for 1 minute or until you have a nice microfoam. And if you need some tips on how to get a great microfoam, check out my in-depth tutorial linked in the top right corner. So once your matcha is whisked, set it aside and we'll make the sakura base. I'm using this sakura powder. I found it on Amazon and the link will be in the description box. And I'm going to add half a teaspoon to my cup. To sweeten it, I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. Usually I like using pure maple syrup as my sweetener, but it's gonna turn the pink color a little more orange toned, so to avoid that, use a colorless sweetener like white sugar, or a liquid simple syrup works too. I'm adding a splash of hot water to dissolve the powder per the instructions, and to get that nice light pink color, I'm adding 20 milliliters of milk. I'm using Califia Farms Barista Blend oat milk, but you can use whatever is your favorite. Then fill your cup with ice. I left some room at the top so that there's space for the dango to sit on top of my cup later. Then add 50 more milliliters of milk. But to make the layers, pour it super slowly and aim for the ice to slow down the flow. This will help the milk sit nicely on top of the pink layer. Lastly, just pour the matcha on top. Again, go very slowly, keep the flow very slow and gentle, and the matcha layer should sit nicely on top of the milk. I also like to add a splash of water to pick up the leftover matcha in my chawan and pour it into my cup. And that's it! Your sakura matcha latte is complete, and it looks just like hanami dango with distinct layers of green, white, and pink. Now to make the hanami dango, you'll need mochiko or sweet rice flour, sugar, water, sakura powder, and matcha powder. For the dough, combine 100 grams of mochiko, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 100 milliliters of cold water, and knead until the dough forms. I highly recommend using gloves since it can get very sticky, but you'll know your dough is ready once it looks like this. You should be able to handle it easily without it sticking to your hands. If your dough is too crumbly, add a little bit more cold water. I find that warm water makes it stickier faster. But if your dough is too wet, add more mochiko. Working with mochiko can be tricky, especially if you've never used it before because of how much of a mess it can become. But my rule of thumb is if it's starting to feel even a little sticky, add more mochiko. Because the more you touch it and the heat from your hands gets on it, the stickier it'll get. But adding more mochiko will help keep it from sticking. So once you have your dough, divide it into 3 parts. And in one part, sift 1/4 teaspoon of matcha powder. I'm using Mizuba Tiko's signature matcha, which is made for culinary purposes like this. But I also love it for matcha lattes. It has a nice, strong, earthy matcha flavor. And to another part of the dough, add 1/4 teaspoon of sakura powder and knead them until the powders are well incorporated. For the pink dough, if you don't have sakura powder, you could also use red food coloring, strawberry powder, beet juice, or really anything with a red or pinkish color to it. But just a warning, if you do use red food coloring, only use a hair of a drop. Because I've done this before and I used way too much food coloring and it turned hot pink. So then I tried again and I used a toothpick to add a drop of dye the size of a grain of sand, and that was the perfect amount. So you've been warned. So once you have all 3 colors, get a cutting board or lay down some parchment paper and sprinkle some mochiko on top to prevent sticking. Roll out the dough into a log and cut it into 6 even pieces. Roll each piece into your hands to form balls, but be gentle since they'll be very soft and squishy. I like to cut my hand and roll it around like this just to make it a nice even ball. And now you have your first dango. Now just repeat this step for all the other colors. I'd also recommend working from the lightest color to the darkest, so white, pink, and then green, just to make sure the colors don't transfer to each other. Now to make the flower and heart shapes, I just use these food cutters. They're for cookies or vegetables, and I also found them on Amazon. They come in a huge pack with other shapes as well. So after forming the dough into balls, I flatten them slightly using the bottom of a cup. You can use any flat object though. And then I just press the cutter into it. Remove the excess dough around it, tap it out, and now you have the cutest flower-shaped dango. So of course I used the flower shape for the pink sakura dough, but for the green matcha dough, I went with a heart shape. And when I flatten them, I try to keep each piece about ½ inch thick, since I still wanted them to be thick enough to sink your teeth into them. But for the white dough, I just kept them as round balls. You can also save some time by rolling all the balls out first, flattening them, and cutting them all at once rather than one by one, like how I was doing at the start. I also found that the dough kind of builds up quickly inside the cutters, so just make sure to take out those bits every now and then, that way you have clean cuts every time. And now we have all our dango pieces. How cute is this? Guys, I'm literally obsessed. I was screaming at how cute this was. So now we're gonna cook them, but first prepare an ice bath for the dango to go into after cooking and set that aside. And in any pot you have, fill it with water and bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, drop in your dango pieces. Be careful about it splashing you. Use a spoon to gently drop them in if you need to, and let them cook in the boiling water for a couple minutes. You'll know they're done when they start to float. And it's a really quick process. It should literally only take a couple minutes. And once they're floating, just scoop them up and transfer them to the ice bath for a few minutes. To assemble, I'm using bamboo skewers that I found at Daiso. These are 5.3 inches long. Once the dango has cooled, assemble them starting with green, white, and then pink. For the round ones, there's gonna be a flat side to them because that's where they were sitting while resting on your cutting board. So just keep that side down and pierce parallel to the flat side to maintain the round shape. And that's it! Your dango is now ready to enjoy. To store it, I would keep them in an airtight container for up to 2 days in the refrigerator, or you can freeze them up to a month. But I would use parchment paper and space them out to keep them from sticking to each other. And since they will get hard in the fridge or the freezer, to reheat them, pop them in the microwave at 50% power for about 15 seconds. This should soften them so they're nice and chewy again, but you may need to add more time depending on your microwave. Okay, let's try the matcha. Ah, it tastes like spring. That is so good. You can taste both the sakura and the matcha. It's not too sweet either. I don't like my drinks to be too sweet, but if you do, then you can always add more sugar or sweetener. Now let's try the dango. There's a nice subtle sakura flavor. The white one is just plain, so it's just sweet. You can definitely taste the matcha in the green one. So now let's try the shaped ones. Tastes exactly the same, but it's just so much more fun with the flower and the heart shapes. If you guys try out all these recipes, I want to see them. You can tag me on Instagram, TikTok, DM me. I would love to see your creations. Happy spring! Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you for Matcha Mondays again next week. Bye!